A new animated Batman TV show came out titled Batman Caped Crusader, with episodes being released this year. I've seen many iterations of Batman, watched a ton of movies and TV shows, played all the Arkham games, except these two, but I've suckled on the Batman teat since I was a wee lad, and maybe I'll check out this show as well to relive my childhood. So, Caped Crusader, where can I view your brilliance in all of its glory? Ugh. Okay, maybe one of the show's creators can convince me why this series is worth my time. Batman Caped Crusader gender flipped the Penguin as Batman had a lack of good villains. What? And he wanted more female ones. James and I were talking about the overview of the show, and we said one of the problems with Batman, as he is there's a lack of good villains. You've got Catwoman, you've got Poison Ivy, you've got Harley Quinn, but it would be really good to have more female villains. And off the top of my head, I said, what if we gender flip the Penguin? Congratulations, you added a vagina. Now nothing can go wrong. You've single-handedly cracked the case of mundane character writing.
Oh my god, Diesel. Are you honestly that upset about the Penguin being a woman now?
It's not the fact that the Penguin got a sex change. I'm not necessarily against a female cobblepot, or a fictional character having a race/gender swap as long as it makes sense. But the two issues I have here is, first off, the absolute brain-dead statement that Batman has a lack of good villains. This claim just downright baffles me because Batman is known for having some of the best and most iconic villains in all of fiction. Everyone knows Joker, Penguin, Two-Face, Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, Bane, Riddler, Killer Croc, Clayface, like I could go on. When comparing other superheroes, what other character has the same recognition and praise as Batman villains? I'm not saying that the Flash, Superman, Wonder Woman, or whoever has bad villains, but Batman has the quality and quantity of evildoers. Secondly, Bruce Timm, the guy who made that claim, is also alluding to the idea that gender swapping the Penguin would fix the issue of Batman having bad villains. Why? The Penguin being a woman now really doesn't change much, but that's kind of the point I'm making. The intention here is to elevate the character writing when gender swapping the Penguin changes nothing. The Batman 2004 adaptation made a lot of changes compared to mainstream Batman products, one of the biggest ones being the Joker. If the writers of the Batman said the same thing about how they made changes to the Joker because Batman lacks good villains, I'd still call him crazy, but at the very least I can see an attempt of doing something different while being faithful to the core of the character. Joker in the 2004 Batman show is still an evil clown who laughs and tells jokes, but some differences include his much deeper voice that might throw people off because they're used to Mark Hamill, his zany design, and in addition I actually really like is the Joker being an acrobatic fighter himself instead of having henchmen do all the work for him, which gives him more of a circus clown identity. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe there's only something a female Penguin can do that the male counterpart cannot. For example, we can't use the name Oswald for the Penguin anymore, at least in this series. We're going to need something a little bit more feminine. So what did the Caped Crusader decide to go with? Oswalda? Yeah, very clever, guys. What, was the hen taken? If your intention is to better the character through race or gender swapping, then you've lost me. I've said this before and I'll say it again. If your entire identity revolves around your race or gender, chances are you're a very boring person. Go get a personality.
But didn't you once say you had a problem with race swapping Ariel from The Little Mermaid despite not minding a gender swapped penguin?
Well, here's the difference. Batman Caped Crusader is an adaptation with new characters and different storylines. The live action Little Mermaid is literally just a rehashed film that pales in comparison to the original. Disney clearly made that movie so they could lazily appeal to a certain audience and make their money from brownie points and not through effort or good writing. Unless you want to argue Aquafina rapping is peak cinema, you don't really have much substance to prove this remake is superior or even worth watching. Now, compared to Oswalda, there's really nothing new to say about this Penguin or even how she changes the game for Batman villains as a whole. People say she's more ruthless because she's willing to kill her own family members. Whoa guys, now that's pretty edgy. Giving Batman villains a darker side is so unheard of. It's not like we have
Do it!
Or
You're done here, Valentine. Let them go.
Oh, no. Pig not ready yet. She's all unique and wrong.
and we can't forget
Tell your boy it's gonna be all right, Gordon. Lie. Like I lied.
Yeah, those were dark days for good writing. Thank God for Bruce Timm. Where was he when these boring adaptations of Batman were being released? Oh wait, he was a producer for one of the most recognizable Batman products of all time. God damn it, Bruce, what happened? You of all people should know that claiming Batman has a lack of good villains is one of the most wrong things you could ever say.
Maybe Bruce Timm just meant that there's a lack of good female villains in the Batman crew?
Let's say that's what he actually meant. That is still an incredibly stupid thing to say. Bruce Timm does talk about the 3 most popular Batman female villains. You know, Harley Quinn, Catwoman, Poison Ivy. I would say that's still a pretty stacked female villain cast. There's also Talia al Ghul, Phantasm, Cheshire, Baby Doll. This is also stupid because you picked the Penguin to add on to the female villain stack. And the Penguin isn't a bad villain, but I don't know, I think a Clayface or a Two-Face would have been better options. These characters have the potential to offer more depth for a character. More about female Penguin though, I don't think the voice matches with the character design. I was expecting an older voice with something a little bit more raspy. Oswaldo's voice is generic. In most other adaptations, one of the Penguin's most identifiable traits is his voice and laugh. However, when I listen to Mrs. Cobblepot, her voice sounds like it could be anybody. Even Harley Quinn has her distinct Brooklyn accent that makes her more identifiable. The character design is fine. Bruce Timm makes a note of how he was inspired to create a female Penguin, so actual thought was put into it. But again, I fail to see how female Penguin revolutionizes Batman villains as a whole.